Okay, guys, are you ready? We're going to go ahead and start our Jefferson-Madison test. So let's look at number 1. Guys, this is straight from your test review. We have a box with 4 things in it: Proclamation of Neutrality, President Washington's Farewell Address, Embargo Act, and Non-Intercourse Act. I want you guys to focus on what you know that word means, neutrality. Okay. These actions in the early years of the American Republic were similar in that each was intended to A. Increase the size of the American standing Army and Navy, B. Prevent the United States from involvement in foreign conflicts, or C. Limit the influence of Great Britain in North America. So what do those 4 things have in common? And think about the word neutral. All right, number 2. Which of the following is generally viewed as the chief foreign policy success of President Thomas Jefferson? In other words, what is Thomas Jefferson the most famous for? A. The formation of a military alliance for the defense of Latin America. B. The purchase of the Louisiana Territory from France. C. The successful defense of the United States in the War of 1812. And then we know D is the wrong answer. Number 3. I know, too, that it is a maxim or principle with us, and I think it's a wise one, not to entangle ourselves with the affairs of Europe. Where have we heard that part before? Not to entangle ourselves with the affairs of Europe. Was it in A, the Mayflower Compact, B, the Declaration of Independence, or D, George Washington's Farewell Address? Number 4, we have a quote. The question whether the judges are invested with exclusive authority to decide on the constitutionality of a law has been heretofore a subject of consideration with me in the exercise of official duties. Certainly, there's not a word in the Constitution which has given that power to them more than to the executive or the legislative branch. Thomas Jefferson. Okay, guys, that was a lot of big words, so let's just focus on the one we need. The most important word is constitutionality. And the phrase we want to look at is the constitutionality of a law. Which one of these constitutional principles is Jefferson talking about? In other words, which principle determines the constitutionality of a law? B, popular sovereignty, C, federalism, or D, judicial review. Number 5, in Marbury versus Madison, the Supreme Court stated that the principle that B, the president may veto federal legislation, C, the courts may declare a federal law unconstitutional, or D, only the president may issue an executive order. Think about our play when we acted out Marbury versus Madison. All right, number 6. Which of the following best describes the process of judicial review? A, Congress can make laws affecting federal court powers. B, the Supreme Court can overrule laws it believes are unconstitutional. Or C, 2/3 of Congress can override a president's veto. Okay, and now we're on number 7. The decision in Marbury versus Madison was significant in U.S. history because it, A, reinforced federal authority over American Indian affairs. B, confirmed the power of Congress to regulate interstate commerce. Or C, establish the practice of judicial review by the Supreme Court. Okay, before you're done with this page, I hope you realize that number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 7, they're all related. So go back and look at them because they all tie to each other. All right, guys, number 8 is exactly what our warm-up was yesterday. So stop and think about our warm-up. How did the War of 1812 lead to the economic changes in the nation? A, Americans became more dependent on importing manufactured goods from France. C, the settlement of the West was slowed down because of the peace settlement with England. Or D, northern manufacturers greatly increased their production of textiles, which could not be imported from England during the war. Don't forget, the word textiles just means fabric or cloth. Number 9, in 1803, President Thomas Jefferson purchased the Louisiana Territory from France. Someone might have argued against the purchase on the grounds that A, Jefferson's action was not expressly permitted by the U.S. Constitution. B, a majority of the Senate opposed the purchase of the Louisiana Territory. Or C, Jefferson violated states' rights by his purchase of the Louisiana Territory. Guys, remember we were talking about, like, why did Thomas Jefferson struggle with the decision? Why did he kind of feel like a hypocrite? And by the way, if you know for sure number 9, also go back and look at number 2. They're kind of talking to each other. Okay, number 10, again, straight from your test review, you've got 4 things. What do they have in common? The Whiskey Rebellion, the Bank of the United States, the Alien and Sedition Acts, and Marbury versus Madison. This list provides examples of A, topics discussed during the Second Constitutional Convention, B, domestic issues faced by the leaders of the new republic, or C, weaknesses of the government under the Articles of Confederation. Okay, we're going to look at number 11 and number 12, and they are similar to number 8. Okay, so what did the War of 1812 lead to, or what happened because of the War of 1812? A, Americans sold cash crops to British manufacturers. B, Americans increased their trade with France and Germany. Or D, Americans began to use more locally manufactured products. Okay, number 12 is exactly from your warm-up yesterday. The War of 1812 began. We know that at the end of the war, U.S. manufacturing expands. So what happened in the middle? The supply of British goods decreased. C, exports to Great Britain increase. Or D, Congress reduces tariffs. So don't forget, decrease means go down, increase means go up, and reduces means go down.